What is up, everybody? Well, I had the cat in the shop and I started taking mid rollers off, and then I thought about it, and it's like 60 degrees out today in February. So I pulled it back outside because when I ordered new tracks today, and I got to take all these mid rollers and have them recoated. And when that's all off, I would really like to repaint this undercarriage. So I decided to pull it back out here and power wash that off. And then I got looking at it, and I really didn't want to squeeze in here and try to take all these panels off, but I decided to, and I'm glad I did, because not only can I wash all the crap out of here, but I'm going to change the hydraulic oil and transmission oil and all the filters, and now I won't have all that dirt falling in the new filters and whatnot. But those panels were a real pain in the ass to juggle out of there. But this is why I don't mind doing the power washing on my equipment, because this is when I find stuff that's wrong. I mean, when you're washing, it's the best time. So if I wouldn't have pulled this cover on this side, I wouldn't have known that I got a hydraulic leak in this stack valve, or whatever you want to call it. But now I can wash it and run it and see what cartridge is leaking or what's leaking. And when I was laying under there getting bolts out, I realized that this motor mount is smoked. Yeah, there's the rubber on the bottom side. So it pays to clean your stuff and look it over. I mean, I have the kids wash stuff a lot, but I normally I take the final pass around with the power washer. But on a totally different side note, have you ever found yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time? If you have, you probably can understand how this mouse feels. I don't think he feels anything now, but probably just taking a nap down there in the track whenever I took off. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna wash this thing now. All right, what's up, everybody? Mrs. G is kind of growly today. She's clay barring and buffing all the red panels for the Magnum that we painted last week. Looking real nice. This has just been clay barred. Still has to be buffed. Thanks, Mrs. G. Yep. All right, well, I kind of had switched gears. This is coming along, but that'll be a different video. We got to get this undercarriage apart. I washed it all up the other day, and then, of course, the minute I drove ahead, all the mud that was in the bottom of the track spilled out onto the undercarriage. But whatever, we'll just clean it off and scuff that up whenever we have the tracks off and repaint that. But today I'm getting all the mid rollers off. I'm going to take the outside ones off because it'll just make it that much easier to get the track out of there. I made up, instead of paying a small fortune to buy the one from Cat, I rigged up this kit out of stuff I had around here. You just need a hydraulic ball valve, pressure gauge, a hydraulic quick connect test coupling, and then I made up a hydraulic hose. Take it around and put it into #1 remote. I'm going to get this last mid roller off, and then we'll detension the track. What I'm doing, so I got to send all these mid rollers to Richmond, Indiana, to get them remolded, because they don't have any of these in stock, so they have to remold mine. I'm not changing the bearings if I don't have to, so what I'm doing is when I take each one off, I letter or number stamp it. I number stamp the back of the metal housing of the mid roller. And then I'm just taking Ziploc bags and numbering and putting all the bearings and the dual cone seal from the hub in those bags. And then I just made a chart showing what number goes where when I put it back together. But we'll clean all the bearings in the parts washer, and obviously I'll change any of them that need to be changed. But this is an expensive enough ordeal. I'm not going to change the bearings if I don't have to. I already got the new tracks. I picked them up yesterday. So I'll get these tracks off and all the mid rollers off. And then while we're waiting for the mid rollers, we'll repaint the black on the undercarriage. When you take these mid rollers off, it's just like a truck wheel bearing or whatnot. You figure out where the tabs are bent over, so you just take a punch and knock the tab back out of the groove. I had this axle socket in my toolbox, and it's so close. I can make it work if I grind the inside down on these tits here, but they come apart easy. I mean, they're not very tight. You can just tap it and spin it off, but to put it back together, to torque them, I'll either modify this or I'll take this axle nut to O'Reilly's and see if I can find a 4-pronger that fits it, or if I have to, I can make something. Take a socket and weld some key stock to it. But I'll get this one off, and then I'll set you up so we can detension this track. Now all 12 of them are off. Just got to take them outside. I'm gonna power wash all of them so they're nice and clean for the people to remold the rubber on there. That was just kind of a dirty, miserable job, especially all the inside ones laying under there. These things are actually pretty heavy. I bet they weigh 50 pounds, but just awkward when you're laying on your back. I'm sure someone already has blown up their keyboard whenever they saw the beginning of this video with this detensioning hose I made. I already detensioned the other side, but I put it on there and I was looking at it and I'm like, you moron. The way I had this valve, I had a T and the valve was like turned side. It wasn't right. I don't know what I was thinking when I hooked all that together, but yeah, I fuck up too. I went and looked at the book and looked at the picture of how the cat one is, and I'm like, yeah. So I took the gauge out of there completely for now because don't need that right now, and I'm gonna get some different fittings to tie the gauge in the right way because I need that whenever I'm retensioning the new track so I can see how much pressure is on that cylinder. But this side I already detensioned it, took the outside half of the front idler off. Just got to get in here with the forklift, drag that out, and then lift that up off of that rear wheel. I'm pretty sure I can, yeah, I can snake it through here, and I got enough room here to, or it just motivates me to, I'm within a day, I got the engine harness, I'm just buttoning it all up, but I'm within a day of making this thing run, so. They said it'd be 2 weeks to get these rollers done, so I'm not in a big hurry to get these tracks off. I was just in a hurry to get the rollers off. And I gotta jump in the truck and drive them next week to Richmond, Indiana. It's like MapQuest said like 5.5 hours from here. But to detension it, got the hose hooked into the hydraulic remote on the back. You put that remote in float so the oil can return. And then you just open this valve. Got a wrench in my pocket here. And then you got, that's the bleed screw. We don't need that one. This one is the fill bolt. You just, all right, you hear it? See, it's sucking this cylinder back. Wow, that scared me. This wasn't tight. I was just barely snugged up. So I built this bracket here, put it behind one of these bolts, because once it's done, you know, I can still hear it taking oil back, but once it's done, then I just have that chain hooked back there. Just ratchet this to pull this back all the way. And then you just close this valve up at that point. After you have that front roller sucked back, close that valve, take that off, take all your bolts off, and pop that half off. Luckily, these and these are in good shape. So I shudder to think how much that would cost. All right, this video is probably long enough. I'll do it in 2 parts. Once I get these back, hopefully once I clean up all the bearings that I have in separate bags over there, hopefully they're all good and I can reuse them. I'm on the fence on these dual cone seals. None of them were leaking. I popped them all out and I put them in the bag for whichever one they came out of. And I left these in. I don't know. It's like Cat wants like $70 each for them. I may change those, but I don't know. I don't want to take it back apart, but I honestly think they probably would work. I don't know. We'll decide. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.